If somebody's gay, they were born that way.
No, we don't
You
accept.
don't accept
No,
that.
at all. So don't even go there.
Well, that was quite the conversation.
I really want to live who I am without needing to pretend, without needing to lie to anybody.
There are some people who are claiming asylum in the UK now because they are fearful here.
So they are all children of God. That's very important.
They have to go. We don't want them there. Seriously.
Well, there are already lots of countries across the world, Muslim countries, Christian countries among them, where being gay is illegal. Well, there's about to be another, and that's Ghana, which is where I am now, because of a new law that's been devised by members of parliament from different parties, and one of the most vocal and prominent of them is Emmanuel Bedzrah from the ruling party. And we're about to go and see him in his office in parliament to ask what this is all about.
We are criminalizing, and I want to use that word advisedly, people who carry themselves to be in that society.
People who are gay.
Gay. If you are attracted to another man and you express it openly, and you indulge in the act of kissing a man, it's unnatural before us. I mean, that is uncultural.
What is there in this bill when it comes to those who are supportive of gay people, allies?
Okay. And so we thought, in the bill, that the spread of all this thing comes from people who are allies, who support it. When you promote it, you are promoting it. When you fund it, you are funding it. You want it spread. And so if you are an ally or you are promoting it and you are caught, it means you want it spread. And so you also it's a criminal
And if you're
offense.
seen as an ally, if you're seen as somebody who expresses being gay, that could lead, when this law is signed, it could lead to prison terms.
Of course. Of course. Of course. You should be in prison.
And that was just the start of quite a conversation. Much more from him to come. But let's hear first from someone affected by it all, a gay Ghanaian who sought asylum in the UK, but who hears from others left behind.
I feel sad when I hear it. When I read it, sometimes I'm drawn to tears because I've had my fair experience of that, of what they are going through. Where at some point you can't live like who you want to be, you can't express yourself. When you are going out, you have to check, oh, is this person that I'm talking, is it safe? Can I trust this person with this, with who I am? Can I have an open conversation with this person without this person suspecting? Because in Ghana, you don't really have to say anything. Even the way you talk, even the way you walk, people might become suspicious of you, how you dress and things. So that's the point.
Do you feel now not only that you can't live in Ghana, but how do you feel about even visiting Ghana?
Visiting Ghana would be difficult. It's a sad situation for me, especially having a family there, but I can't visit because I really want to live who I am, like who I am, without needing to tell, without needing to pretend, without needing to lie to anybody. And it's very sad. It's a sad situation.
Well, strange and sad to be sat here in Accra talking to a Ghanaian, Bediak, who can't be here, having fled abroad and not feeling safe to come back here, even to visit loved ones. So how did we get to this situation? Well, let me start with a fairly obvious question, I think. How can you criminalize something that people can't control in themselves?
I just give you a scenario, and I just gave you one example that people are sometimes have desire to steal.
But this is very different. This is about living their own lives, expressing themselves like you would if you feel affection for somebody, you would want to spend time with them. This is the same thing.
So there's a boundary in every society, and we have to set our own boundary. The boundary is that you have affection for your male counterpart, but don't go beyond that boundary. And I explained that Ghana, and for that matter Africa, has its own cultural norms. Europeans have their own cultural norms, and one of the cultural norms is Europeans is to have a man marrying one woman or a man marrying another man. We in Africa believe that a man, as our culture, should marry only a woman, or you can marry more women. And so for us, we believe that even if you have any motion or inclination to have some affection for your male counterpart, you don't do it because it's against our cultural norm.
But you're asking people not to be themselves.
No. Then why do we have laws?
You're asking people not to be their true selves.
Ali, why do we have laws? And I said that we have boundaries. And one of the boundaries is that don't steal. You know, people have the tendency to go and steal.
But is it a crime that somebody is born in a way that they feel affection for somebody that is of their own gender?
Born in a way. Who born them in that way? You were born in men.
So do you accept that if somebody is gay, they were born that way?
No, we don't.
You don't accept
no
that?
at all. So don't even go there.
Of course, we did go there, but that's for a bit later. The thing is, Mr. Bedzrah is not some outlier. The majority of Ghana's parliament appears to agree with him and passed the anti-LGBT bill.
It started as something political, but very quickly religious leaders jumped on board, and after that became some of the most vocal proponents of the bill. One of those who has softened his stance is the Anglican Archbishop of West Africa, Cyril Ben Smith. He came under a great deal of pressure from outside Ghana when he first said he absolutely backed the criminalisation of being gay. His stance has softened, but it does remain confusing.
Our point in our province is very clear. We do not support the criminalization of gay persons.
But that's what's happened here in Ghana.
So that's the policy. That was the law, but we do not support the criminalization of persons. But we believe that God created male and female. So the Anglican Church is more traditional, if you like. So we hold on to the traditional view. The Anglican province in Ghana.
So what does that mean for gay Christians here? They would be accepted or not in the church?
So they're all children of God. That's very important. They're all children of God. And God loves them. But the point in context is that the church's teaching is where it is. The other bit is that in traditional Ghanaian culture, that's the main point. In traditional Ghanaian culture, does not support, and it really has a very strong view on that.
It's a little bit confusing to some people when you say that we're all children of God.
Yes, it is.
And yet somehow there is not equality for people who just happen to be born different.
You know, the whole concept of people with LGBT, it's not new here. They have lived in this country for a long time, and we've lived with them. They've never been a problem.
But there are some people who are claiming asylum in the UK now because they are fearful here about violence against them, that whatever has happened, including the church endorsing these positions to introduce laws, has made them feel like that gives a green light for people to discriminate against them.
So I think that's why we're making this point very clear. The church does not support people to be criminalized.
So not an entirely clear position. Others, of course, are much more forthright.
It can be corrected with medicine. If you have that, your hormones drawing you
Well, it
towards...
hasn't happened anywhere else in the world.
It's happening here in Africa. I mean, we have holistic therapy. If you have the tendency to be drawn to steal, you can be counseled not to steal.
Why do you think this is important? Because this is really about people living their lives it's not about, you're talking about stealing. They're not taking something from somebody else.
Living your life. And we are saying that
live and let live.
Live, let me live, as others who say in Europe. Yes, live, let me live. But your living, for me to live, should be in consonant with the environment that you belong to.
But there's not the comparison that you've made with stealing. You're not harming somebody else to live your life.
Okay, so if
a man is kissing another man, who else is being affected? If that is done, if it's just the private life,
yes.
Then
so you are not caught.
So
Ali, you are not
about
caught.
being caught.
Okay.
It's just about them living their life. That's not harming anybody else.
So you were just looking at my comparison, and I want to tell you that if you steal and you are caught, you'll go to court. You go to jail. So if you have the tendency to be drawn to another man, you kiss the person without being caught.
The question is, how is it affecting detrimentally somebody else?
So let me tell you, if a man is kissing another man and somebody else sees it outside, because our culture frowns on it, what will happen? If you are not careful, that man will stone you, the two of you.
But
so to prevent that, we said let there be a law, so that nobody will see you, doing something against the cultural norm of the society.
But our culture is that way? Is that enough of a reason?
Yes, of course.
Why isn't there the education of those people who would want to stone somebody who's gay into understanding they're just the same as anybody else?
Our culture also, why don't they respect our culture? If you want to be gay forever. Don't bring it to our society.
Well, the anti-LGBT law has been passed, but it hasn't been signed by the president. So does that leave room for the international community to apply some pressure about it?
The president of Ghana came to the UK recently. I saw him being interviewed, but they didn't even push him very much to get that answer from him, whether he's going to assent to it or not. They just left it in blankets for him, and then he was able to give an answer, and then so I don't think the international community, especially Britain.
I'm asking you this specifically because we're here covering the visit of the Archbishop of Canterbury, who is meeting other religious figures.
I'm hoping that the Archbishop will use this visit to I don't know if the right word to use, to educate that these people, or the queer people, we were born like that. It's not as if it's a choice or a lifestyle that we want to live.
Well, on her visit, we sat down with the Archbishop.
Is there an opportunity to spread a message of equality that you could help propagate here? Is it something that you've raised?
The primates across the Anglican Communion have spoken against criminalisation of LGBTQI people, each one of them made in the image of God. And over this last week, we have shared that truth.
I only push back on this because I have spoken to clergy here who will still say we're all children of God, but Scripture says this, that means homosexuality isn't something that we can accept. And there is still backing for a law that's going through. Have you raised the issue at all while you've been here?
The primates of the Anglican Communion, all of them, have spoken out against criminalisation of the LGBTQI community.
What I'm saying is there an opportunity for you to go further to ensure that people, because people are claiming asylum now in the UK, coming from here.
My journey here to Ghana, the first place that I've come to in Africa, has been a pastoral visit to walk alongside Archbishop Cyril to encourage the clergy and the people. And I have spoken a lot here about how each one of us are made in the image of God and loved by him.
But some might actually react against Western interference anyway.
We think that gayism, homosexuality, and all these acronyms, the LGBT, are import from the Western world.
The process over recent years that has led to this legislation being passed in Parliament has led to rhetoric that has left gay people here fearful. Some of them have fled the country.
They have to go. We don't want them there. Seriously. I've met a lot of them outside. Anytime I travel quite extensively. I met them, and I tell them, we don't need you in Ghana.
Well, that was quite the conversation. It's hard to know what to say about that, except I suppose that the Member of Parliament certainly had no qualms about saying exactly how he felt. He certainly wasn't ashamed of his views at all. But I'm just reflecting now on how much of a contrast that was to the conversation we had by someone who was affected by all of this, who felt he couldn't come back to his own country and see his relatives because of everything that has been surrounding this law. Well, that law has now been passed by Ghana's parliament. It's only being held up because some religious leaders want it to be even more severe. So people suspected of being gay can't have legal representation, and also that journalists who ask questions about the law or who are seen as promoting homosexuality can also be jailed, because at the moment they're exempt. But it does look like the country's president will sign this thing through, and so Ghana will be added to the long list of countries where just being gay is a crime, and for so many people, just being who they are means they're in danger.